Okay, well, hello, everybody. The time has come where we will be going live for this webinar. And today we are going to be discussing shifts in sourcing and procurement and focusing on Find My Factory's latest release, speya. Now, I have two of my colleagues with me. They are the ones who actually created speya.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of brain power in the room right now. Mathias and Mårten, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rebecca. As Rebecca said, my name is Mathias. I'm an AI engineer at Find My Factory. I've been with Find My Factory for the last 1.5 years. So really, when it's been starting to pick up speed, and during this time, it's been a really exciting journey. And we're continuing to just build and revolutionize the way we see sourcing. And I hope that we can share it with you today and maybe answer some technical questions. If you want to get down into the technical, maybe some tips and tricks about how we think you should use the tool, maybe learn some new things and just help you out.
And my name is Mårten. I work also as an AI engineer at Find My Factory, and I'm super excited for this today to discuss about speya and how you can use it in a good way in order to find the right suppliers for you.
You guys were able to actually roll out speya pretty quickly. So I guess before we jump into the tool and show you guys how it works, it'd be great to get some background. So what was the idea that sparked speya? How long did this take? What was the story behind it?
I can go ahead. Yeah, sure. We saw that, a lot of people are used to working with AI in a chat format. And what speya is that chat format, but within Find My Factory. Find My Factory is a very powerful tool. It can do a lot of things. The searching and the researching can give you suppliers and give you information about almost any data point that's public available, even a bit more. But we saw that sometimes this can be difficult to prompt an AI and manage that yourself. So what speya can do is that it works as an AI on top of the AI that we have and helps you like writing the instructions, the prompts, give you feedback, and really taking you through the journey of one of your sourcing cases, often from the start to a ready list with speya so you can export and do what you need to with them.
Yeah, I think I would say also that it's an extremely powerful tool because Find My Factory can provide the data, but just the interface to the data that we can also provide with the speya in order to find the right suppliers for you. And that creates a really powerful tool in order to, for you to find the right suppliers.
Yeah. Well, we've already gotten a lot of really fantastic feedback from the customers who have seen it. So thank you guys so much. Especially for myself, I'm using a lot of tools day to day, of course, showing customers how to make sourcing autonomous or make sourcing and procurement autonomous. I think Find My Factory has achieved in doing this, but speya just allows actually the tool, I think, to be a lot more user-friendly. Yeah. It's easier to use. It has this chatbot that can prompt, simultaneous multiple queries at once, and it's quite intuitive. So that's a really good thing. So for today's agenda, we are just going to go ahead and jump directly into the tool. I think that's going to be the best way for you guys to see it. And of course, during this, Mathias and Mårten will tell us the back end, what's going on technically. Anything else you guys think we should add to the agenda? What do you think?
No, look forward to just showing you technically. I hope we can get a bit technical. I know, there's a lot of people using AI tools, but it can be difficult to understand the differences between them. What is actually the language model? What is the things that are built on top of the language model? Just take you through it, how you can utilize the latest AI
and what's making speya so useful in the whole.
Yeah. With some tips and tricks as well. And how we envision it, I hope to share.
Yeah. Okay, well, in that case, let's go ahead and jump in. We'll be using my computer here, so you guys feel free to also grab the computer if you need to. Let's go ahead and share my screen. For most of you who have seen Find My Factory, now we're sitting on, of course, the initial dashboard. And to start using speya, you go ahead and jump to the source and enrich. Let's go ahead and get started. So now that we're on the prompting page, we're actually able to prompt the source or prompt a supplier discovery with a text, a image, or even a file. And this is a great way you can actually apply speya not only to supplier discovery, but you can also ask it to do additional data enrichment to, let's say, existing suppliers. Anything else to add? No, this initial stage.
We want this to be, I think, simple the way you start. We're used to the chat interface, and I think just getting straight in here too and just write what you want to find. And then you figure out which speya is your assistant. And then if you have a blueprint, if you have some specifications from a colleague or something, just drop it, see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, since I have the creators of Speya with me, let's go ahead and do a search. What does, I'll let you guys take the wheel. What do you think we should look to source?
Okay. I'm playing a lot of paddle lately. Okay. I know that you need a new racket because you keep barring all the time. So
Yeah. Okay. But I was thinking about doing like a drone or something. Yeah. Let's go with the other racket. So here what Rebecca right is just writing into the language model interface. So I mean, you don't have to be super specific as long as the semantics are correct. So I think manufacturer paddle racket is good. Yeah. I think I want them cheap as well. So where do you get them cheap? I guess.
Suppose China. Let's say based in China. Some manufacturers of paddle rackets based in China. Go ahead and start the source.
Yeah, so I guess to take you through here, what's happening. Before we actually delve into the data and suppliers, we want to understand the area better. So what Speya does here, it does a quick little mini research. It looks up the paddle racket market, maybe some manufacturing, just understanding what are the players here and what kind of search terms or manufacturing techniques they use in order to find them better. So I think maybe it produced a plan now. Let's see what it came up with. So yeah, good paddle rackets manufacturing is well established with carbon fiber frames and EVA from course being the standout. I'll set up a broad discovery plan targeting Chinese OEM, ODM manufacturers. So Speya did some initial mini research here, and it produced a plan for us. And this plan, you can see that it's a query on top, paddle racket manufacturer. And then there's the requirements. You can here work with this in case you want to, if you want to specify it more, you can talk to Speya, or you can manually add it, like for example, manually, or you can write another message in the bottom. And this way you can continue like working on this discovery plan. Sometimes maybe I know a lot we have our customers are professionals, so they know what to find. Maybe they are very quick in starting the plan. But if there's a case where you're not really sure about what you're looking to find, you can talk to Speya, chat with it, really crunch down this plan to something that's really accurate
and help you become the actual expert of it.
Yeah.
So try to be able to ask the Speya in order to help you with the different requirements.
You know, actually, I agree because we work with some large customers as well who might have, let's say, sourcing managers or team members who specialize in sourcing, let's say in India, Eastern Europe, for example, and they're constantly getting projects to do. Mm-hmm. And even for myself, if I'm on a demo or something, and I'm not really sure what I'm looking for, or I'm not sure what they're looking to source. So it's actually quite intuitive that, I mean, it can break down, let's say, how is a paddle racket manufactured?
Yeah.
And then you kind of understand maybe what you're looking for a bit more. Yeah, do like research.
I mean, I think paddle rackets, maybe it's quite easy to find. If you search for paddle rackets, I mean, the AI will search in our databases and our public data and everything. The search term is not difficult, paddle racket. But sometimes if you're maybe working with a fastener or you're working with something new that has a very unique pro specification, it could be a bit more difficult to find. And in that case, you can work with the plan, really target suppliers. I mean, manufacturers that work with the right techniques. They do some welding, they do all of these techniques that are required to produce certain parts. So you can really, really work with the search plan to narrow down to something that you believe will find what you're targeting.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and start the search then and see what we start to get. Something I also really like about Find My Factory as well is that we are working with so much data. We're currently using 250 plus data sources. So as Speya runs and as it does this evaluation for you, any of the suppliers that pop up in this pre-vet supplier shortlist, they're always going to come with a specific source. That way we can at least ensure that the data accuracy is, I wouldn't say 100%, but as high as I think it could possibly be.
It's grounded in something. Yeah, it's definitely important.
Yeah. I remember the other day we were having this conversation and you mentioned something about context management.
Yes.
And how Speya differentiates from other tools on the market. I think a lot of our customers have never seen something like this.
You want to go? No, I can go with that. Yeah. So when you're working with the language models, there's this concept called context, and the context is basically everything that you've talked about with the agent before. This is what the AI uses to produce its output and produce the results similarly. A question we often get is, how do we distinguish ourselves between like other chatbots? I know Claude is becoming extremely powerful. A lot of our people we talk to are using Claude for a lot of things, but these chatbots are kind of an engine, but they're not really, they don't have the tools, and they're not built for the way that you can use them in a workspace kind of way that we're doing. So with Pharma Factory, we really build a strong scaffolding around a powerful language model. We make sure that the context contains only truth, so the data from Pharma Factory. It's always live in the workspace. I mean, you see the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is basically the context. The AI has access to everything you have access to, and it can read, it can understand, and really work with this. So yeah, I think does that answer? Do you remember about context or?
Yeah, absolutely. Can I ask as well, maybe a silly question, but I think maybe something a couple users might be interested in is how, I guess, do you orchestrate speya or make sure speya is taking the correct paths and essentially is thinking like somebody in sourcing and procurement? How do we know that it's following those intuitive intents, I guess, and has the right intention?
Yeah.
I suppose is the best way to frame it.
Yeah, no, we worked a lot with this when designing speya, and it comes down to a lot of testing. A lot of, we design it and we make sure that it behaves within the procurement sphere, but we test this rigorously. So we have a lot of different search categories, a lot of requirements, and we really go through them the beginning to the end and make sure that, okay, it's generating what we expect it to generate.
Yeah. Well, as of right now, we are sitting at 49 suppliers so far. For the purpose of this webinar, I'm actually going to pause the search. But what will happen, and you guys know this as well, is that the tool is going to continuously work until you ask it to stop. There's really no shortage of the amount of suppliers that you can get. Usually for our users, I kind of say, okay, at the initial search, let's cast a wide net. So let's not get too into the specifics, because then, of course, maybe some of that specific information, it's not accessible on any of those 250 data sources. Doesn't mean that they can't do it. It just means that either our public or private data doesn't have a clear source. So again, as you can see on the screen, every company that we give you and every match is going to be validated by a clear source. Again, reaffirming the fact that we only want to be providing you with valid and accurate data. So let's go ahead and pause this right now. Currently at 52, looks like there are a couple coming in at the end of the chat.
I think one thing that I like to explain, because it's really interesting how this spreadsheet gets created, because it's a lot of data processing that's happening right now. We're working with our enormous database to get these matches done, and then if you click on any match, if you click on, you see the reasoning and you see the source. So right now it says manufacturer paragraph, quite easy to verify, but you see the requirement and you see the source. And what we're doing is that we're leveraging AI on a scale that for a query that I'm not sure if other people are doing in the same way. Yeah. You can think of every supplier here. We are creating a research agent, and we're just grinding through our own data. We're identifying possible candidates, all of these companies, and then all of them, we have a research agent that really goes into the depth and in our own data and tries to extract and match this. So you can think of speya controlling hundreds of other research agents, which I think is really cool. AI, you are the controller of one AI, which then controls and orchestrates hundreds of other AIs.
Spawns multiple of the different AIs in order to the rights.
Wow, it's almost shocking that the way that this was done previously was manual over time. It is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's really impressive, and I'm really happy with that. It's something that I genuinely is excited for. It's something I really would just want to continue building more this stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like previously was it just going on Google, searching around, looking into that way, but now with this tool,
like imagine going on the second page of Google. Did you want that to?
Is there a second page?
I don't know.
they do see that as well. That I guess the SEO engine is really crumbling. Now we're moving to the GEO. So I want to bring it back though to Speya for a moment, because I really like what it gives us right now. So we have this list of pre-vetted suppliers, and immediately we have the reasoning behind Speya here. And then we have additional enrichments that we can actually add to these suppliers. Can I ask how are these additional enrichments being suggested to us? How does Speya know this information, I guess?
Well, we're trying to, when we, as Mathias said earlier, when we designed Speya, it was supposed to become the experts, be one step ahead when you're actually doing the search. And as you can see in the chat there, it's starting searching and becoming this expert for you in order to guide you on what way or path that you should take in order to find the right suppliers for you. I would say that's the most powerful thing about it, is that it's
yeah, I mean, it's like, sure, we had some, as Mårten saying, some suggestions here. I can continue here. I mean, if I was, for example, the more context, getting back to the context problem, I give to the AI, the better decisions it can make. So, for example, one thing an advice I'd like to give when working in Speya is to really explain your case, explain who you are, why are you sourcing or procuring this thing, where you're located. If you give it all of this context, it will generate rules about enrichments, about compliance, about possibly important certificates to discover, and all of this. So yes, we have the data, and with Speya, you can access it easily.
Oh, so really intuitive.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, yeah, but it's up for our customers to decide. Yeah, who really believe so. Yeah.
I mean, I really, of course, do like the summary as well, because like I said, for some of these larger companies that do have, suppliers based everywhere and doing their own, I guess, boots on the ground approach, this is a way that I guess you can import or take on hundreds of projects. You don't maybe need the exact expertise for what you're looking for.
No, exactly. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, I mean, because some people are professionals within their own sourcing categories. But as you say, sometimes there comes up a case that you never worked with before, and you're still expected to find a supplier in that. So with a tool like Pharma Factory, it makes it really easy for yourself.
Yeah. So should we go ahead? Just seeing another microphone out here. Thank you. Thank you to the back over here. Okay, should we go ahead and add on these additional enrichment? What do you think?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so based on these suggestions, we have bought then, okay, OE, DRM, FM, minimum order quantity. This is like,
yeah, it's good. It could be difficult for Chinese, but yeah, let's go with all of them. See what we can get.
Yeah, and I also want to mention as well too. So much of Find My Factory is understanding how to prompt. So let's say as well, we're giving Speya such a, I guess, yes or no task.
Yeah.
So let's see what we find in, but Speya doesn't just give you what we're looking at right now. It's not just a match. It can also give you much more extensive information. Let's say you want a list of all certificates that these suppliers hold.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, exactly. I just want to highlight right here, for example, if you see on the screen, right? So with the deployment of managing, orchestrating, and research, you see that Speya, right? It's writing the research columns. Previously, you did it yourself by going into the research and clicking and writing yourself. With Speya now, it's writing this for you. It's really cool because we've seen some really complex instructions being written by Speya for agents to use about compliance, about maybe you have within your own compliance team, you have many rules that you have to verify, them doing a step-by-step instruction. I just imagine a human doing all of those steps for every supplier.
Yeah.
I mean, the time saved
It's
I think it's in there. I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I think we have customers as well where it's so costly. Let's say you are going through all these suppliers, you found a batch of suppliers that are fantastic, I guess for what you've gone thus far. Then you enter the RFI back and forth. And then you realize, okay, this fantastic supplier, great pricing. However, they don't hold the certificate we need. Now, what does that mean? You spend so much time on these one suppliers, you have delays, you're not going to market as quicker. And of course, that's going to be costly and timely.
Yeah.
So I really do think, the big value case that we have here, of course, is saving time, data accuracy, and going to market much quicker.
Yeah.
Which is as we know, is such a competitive advantage for our customers.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have some results. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got so far.
I mean, we had OEM, ODM as a search requirement, so I'm happy that we see that all of them are being verified. I see certifications. I want to find a good one for my own pile rackets.
Yeah, let's see here.
I guess this, they have a lot of certifications. I don't know what this certification.
I know ISO as well.
And ISO, actually.
So is a common one.
I've heard of this one as well. So yeah, as you see, they're coming in, and then also core materials. I'm not sure either which one. Maybe I should have targeted a distributor, another manufacturer. But yeah, you see the data is coming in. I think the thing to really point out in this is the interface is just natural language.
Yeah.
One way that I like to abstract Find My Factory to understand really what we're building, that you have 3 layers, and you have the data, and we continuously work on data through web scraping, through partnerships, through just buying it simply.
Yeah.
So this is the first bottom layer of Find My Factory. On top of this, we have our agent infrastructure, and this is the one that goes through all of our data to actually bring it forward.
Yeah.
And on top of this, we have the user. And the user is just communicating in natural language with the agents, and then the agents does everything else to interact with the data and bring it forward to you.
Okay. I just want to take a note, you guys. I just hopped into the chat. Please tell me if you guys can hear us clearly. I'll go back into the chat and just give it a look. But we should be okay. We have another microphone with us right now, so
Okay.
let's
We're working.
yeah, let's go and see her just on the chat. But okay, I see Mårten, you're typing. Yes, we can hear. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much too for the engagement. This is the type of audience we need.
Very good.
All right. Okay, so we got this falling a little bit.
Yeah, maybe I'll keep it here. And then
Yeah, this one should be working as well. But okay, Mårten or Joachim, please keep us updated if you can't hear us. But okay, back to Speya now. So now that we have these suppliers generated, what's the next step, or what would you suggest the next step to be?
Well, we could ask Speya to suggest the move forward. I mean, we want to continue, narrow down the list. So we could ask it to summarize.
Okay.
Maybe there is additional data points that we should find.
Yeah.
Really, I think for the fun of it, let Speya take the lead.
Yeah.
And suggest what we should do.
Okay. Has it already been orchestrated to find all of these different suppliers for the power rockets?
Yeah.
So you just ask it again in order to find the right one.
So maybe we can summarize it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Summarize it. Yeah.
Which one is the best one? The best is a bid.
It's an interesting one, though. Of course, like if you're looking for new suppliers, now we found them, we have the data enrichments. I guess the next step is to start sending out FRQs. For example, should we go ahead and ask for some email addresses?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Find that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, to the right people.
You're a feather racket.
Okay.
I like yours. Maybe the phone is yours.
For each supplier, I would say please include maybe sales addresses and phone numbers. Let's do that. You think we can?
Yeah, let's find some.
Okay, let's see. All right, I'm just going to jump right back into the chat and make sure. Perfect. I'm not saying anything else.
Mårten has been complaining about this a lot because I use his shirts, I use his paddle rackets.
I just thought it was a rare opportunity to look for new paddle rackets.
I mean, that's kind of the cool thing about Find My Factory. Of course, we have like big customers using this on like an enterprise scale, but even for a single user, I would use this.
The supply intelligence part of it is really, really interesting. I mean, sure, you have the different phases. Discovery, generating good candidates, and then the intelligence. And since the intelligence part is just natural language, ask what you want to know. And then, let's see if we can bring it up. And I guarantee you, if you can find it manually on the web or in any public data, I'm sure we find it too. So just, it's about parallelized, just making this data parallelized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parallelized. Not paralyzed.
And can I ask you guys, just while we wait for these results to come in, is there any other, I guess, AI companies or any other company in general that's doing something similar to Speya, or
No, not that I know of.
Okay. So we're pioneering this, it seems.
I mean, yeah, I really think so. The scale and with the data, it's
Yeah, I would
consider it
They say the scale as well of finding all these companies and having this nice type of interface that anybody can go look.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing really a model come up in many industries with like the workspace and the chat. I think we have a lot of startups in Sweden. I think Legora is one of them, and I mean Lovable. And what you do is that you build this AI agent in the chat, and then you have the workspace, and then you make it so that the AI can do everything within the workspace as you can do, and then you build the tools and you make everything available for it. So, I mean, my vision is that we continue building this. We have the workspace right now is just a spreadsheet, but it can be
Files, it could be. I mean, a lot of different things. So, yeah.
Okay, well, that's good for me to hear as well. I work in sales, so that's a good question that I typically get quite often.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Okay, but now we have, excuse me, now we see those email addresses and phone numbers coming in. I mean, we tend to find when it comes to sourcing and procurement, at least feedback that I've gotten is, finding accurate suppliers, and then how do I reach these suppliers?
Yeah.
That's when you go through LinkedIn, or you have to go, I don't know, have a subscription for a Zoom info or something like this. So it's actually great that we can potentially minimize somebody's tool stack by implementing Speya. It can do so many different tasks and pull so much data, which is amazing. So, okay, now we have a list of suppliers. We're at 55 right now. Of course, we stopped it. Just want to mention that we could be up to maybe, 200, but
we didn't continue generating new search plans. I mean, I think we searched for China, right? In this one.
Yeah.
From here, we could try another targeted area, compare the data, collect more. I mean, I think creativity is it's just a limit working with Speya.
Yeah, I was actually on a call the other day, and the big question that we got was, okay, how does this compare to what I've found? Well, what you can also do as well is if you go ahead and just hover to the top, you can see the import-export. And this is where you can actually even add on your existing suppliers to see how they're going to compare to this new supplier list.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing. Let's say you have this big batch of suppliers. Maybe they're at risk of, let's say, tariff implications. Maybe they're at risk for delayed deliveries, whatever it may be. You can actually alleviate that work, put it right into Find My Factory, and again, has Speya do the work for you.
Yeah.
Or even find alternatives to those existing suppliers by asking Speya to run that task for you. So that was a really interesting use case for them.
That's cool. It's really good to hear.
So it's not just supplier discovery as well. I mean, Speya is kind of your AI orchestrator for really whatever.
Yeah, it's intelligence, I think. Just
yeah, I mean, I really like the view we have and how we built this. It's just you just bring in more data, continue to bring in more data, and then you crunch it, and then you simplify. I mean, I think we can do it right now. I mean, just have Speya simplify the list for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we just
and doing gymnastics over this microphone. But okay, let's go ahead and say, how about say I'm based in Sweden?
Yeah.
What are the top suppliers for me that can, import, deliver?
Yeah, sure, export.
That can export to Europe.
Again, creativity here is the limit. I mean, if there are other requirements that are more important to you, you just tell them. I mean,
pricing, of course, if it's public, which is not often, it isn't always public.
Yeah.
But for maybe if some of them, you can ask about get those data points as well, and then MOQ. I think we had some data from the MOQ previously. I saw it came in, so just what is important.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Maybe we can go ahead and hover over that for a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and add.
Yeah. So now we're getting them the last data here before we can simplify it. If they export to Europe.
All right. And we even do have that minimum order quantity, which is actually, like you said, it's quite impressive. We're not always finding companies are sharing this data with us.
Yeah, and let's see. Yeah. Here you see the I mean, for everything, I just want to reiterate that every data point that we get in is grounded in something. And you always have access to our sources. So you see them here.
I mean, that's a funny thing, too. If you contact, let's say, a supplier and they say, no, we have a minimum of 1,000. Well, guess what? You actually don't. About the size that I actually do.
I thought about that.
That I can actually import at a lower scale. So new suppliers as well, even benchmarking. I think that's it's good, interesting one. I think we've all tried to buy something and they say no, you need X amount, and it's like, well, I've actually found it so familiar. So it's a really great way to, I think, leverage.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that. Being on the product side of things.
And we have a couple ones here, so you know.
Maybe that's one I should target.
Exactly. Yeah, we do actually. Let's go ahead and see it. We have an email address to this one.
But they don't export to Europe, so
It doesn't look like it. Okay, well, now we have all these data points. So should I just go ahead and ask for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? Who should we contact? Give them a thank you. Speya has been doing it. Would work. Don't forget to submit a thank you. Okay. Give me the top suppliers. Top suppliers out of this shortlist. I really like this as well, too. I mean, even if you have all this information, let's say you don't want to go through every single data point individually. Yeah. You can see that visualization. You can see, great, I have all this data on these suppliers. Yeah. And then you can ask Speya, of course, to make this more intuitive choice for you. It's going to basically evaluate the data on your behalf. Yeah. A great way as well, we have a couple customers using this, like I said, at a team or enterprise level. And this is a great way as well. Let's say you're looking to boost a new project. Maybe you're looking at some risk exposure for existing suppliers. You can also share this internally. So you can actually reevaluate these suppliers. If you have a teammate that has, let's say, different parameters for different categories, you can use this kind of in synchrony.
Yeah, no, we've seen that there's like compliance teams. I mean, there's so many different applications for this.
Yeah,
I'm really happy about that.
That's good. Well, I think to wrap up the Speya demo, Mårten, I think you can take back some of your bottles because we have found, Mathias, some good ones. It based on this information, looks like Top Carbon Sports.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I really like, of course, again, the summary of it, the intuition of it.
I'm not buying 20,000, right? No, that's the production. Yeah, good.
Production pounds per month. Most of their clients are in the US and Europe. Okay, good.
Let's go into the website then. You have I guess, go in the supply list.
We do. There they are. Top Sports.
Top Carbon. Yeah.
Top Carbon Sports. And I guess we got the link right there.
Yeah.
Not sure if you guys can see that. I'm only... We got the link and, of course, the Google as well. So, okay, now we have Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. And what we can do right now, just to kind of clean up Speya one last time. Thank you again. And remove all other suppliers.
Yeah.
And now we've gone from that list of 55. We've added on those data enrichments, and now we're trickling down to, what was that? Just maybe 6 or 9.
Yeah.
So what do you estimate is the typical time this process usually takes?
Oh, I mean, I can only guess. I mean, I haven't worked in procurement, but from what I've understood is that this could take a lot of time previously, and I think it's important to really get into the AI tools in AI space, because I think so this is for procurement, but in many ways in your professional life, they're just AI tools waiting for you. And they can help you save time and energy in many areas that maybe you don't think of before. So don't be curious about AI. And test and try things out. That's my advice, at least.
I want to say something as well. We actually got so much data in this initial search, but I've been in meetings where sometimes it says no data found, no data found, no data found. And what's actually so interesting is that, again, you can ask Speya, dive deeper. Yeah. Dive deeper into this task. Why is there no data found? Find something for me. Yeah. And then we actually see this amazing thing on the back end where we can actually see it's prompting that search again. It's scouring different domains, and it is going to find something for you. So like Mathias said, be curious. If you are testing the tool and you see no data found, don't let that stop you. Ask Speya to work more for you. Give it additional tasks.
Yeah, remember the layers. There is the data and the agent layer. And the agent layer is doing its best from what you tell it to do. But yeah.
Okay, and now
we're removing 94 or 49. Excuse me. Let me just reload, and we should have the updated.
Aha. Okay, that's the thing we have to fix. Cool. And here we have the top 6 ones.
Top suppliers. We have their emails and everything. So I guess I will send this to you after this demo.
I'll leave for the thing tomorrow. So might be a bit
And again,
And we can get their lead time as well.
Yeah, perfect. And for example, too, like if you're a consultant as well working with Find My Factory, you can always export these lists as well. So, I mean, I know so many people in this industry, they're still in Excels. No shame whatsoever. Excel is a good tool to use. And you can see that Find My Factory essentially behaves the same way as Excel. It has the columns, it has the different rows, everything. So if you need to share this internally, or let's say share this with a potential customer, you can export the data as well. What is next for Find My Factory?
Well, we're mostly looking into, after you have gotten your suppliers and you have gotten the right one, what's the next step after that? So we've been looking into a lot of like, okay, you want to also contact these suppliers, and how can we do that in the best way? Well, we have speya from the beginning, so utilize speya as much as possible in order to do that for you as well, which can just simplify the process even further. Just almost just click one button in order to make everything work.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we have an engage module today, but this is human driven. This is not AI driven, and I think that moving forward, we're already building it. So I guess we can disclose that. Yeah, we want to get that email and email kind of working into speya as well, so that you will be able to. Speya will recommend emails, and you can send through one of our email addresses, or you send from your own email address directly to the supplier, because it's just about data. And then speya just writes drafts. Just write the drafts for everyone, and then you click send. I mean, we're not really sure how it will look like, but just continuing. I mean, if there's data we cannot find publicly, or if there's data that is not available publicly, email them and let speya handle the emailing and so and then you get a notification, and now speya has found this data through this email and another data source.
So at some point too, I mean, sourcing new suppliers should take in total, let's say, an hour. This is, let's say, weeks or months.
No, I really think I'm really excited for the future. Just you can work on the more important things, the interesting things, and delegate the manual and the tedious to AI agents for you.
Yeah, I guess the biggest question is like for everybody in this webinar is okay, what can you do now with all this time that you've saved? How many more projects can you run? How quickly can you go to market? How quickly can you expand, let's say, existing categories and scenarios? I mean, what do you do when you get 50% of your time back, potentially?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't see AI replacing people. I'm skeptical towards this narrative. I just make it, AI allows you to do the interesting things, the things where the human context can have every part of understand the entire project, the whole of it. And AI, I think we're very far away from that. Yeah. And you can, with speya and AI tools like that, you can focus on those parts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys, thank you so much. We have a last 5 minutes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move us to the Menti. So let me share my screen. I see one question in the chat. Mårten, that's you. Do we have a recorded version? We do. Everybody in this webinar, you'll get a recorded version after this call. So you can revisit it. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate reaching out to myself, Mårten, or Mathias on LinkedIn. Okay, I just open up the buttons for you after. Okay, perfect. I will go ahead and share my screen really quickly just so we can present the Menti. Let me make sure I have this. And we have 4 questions in already. So we're going to go down the line. Mårten, how would you answer? Somebody asked, can't I just use ChatGPT?
It's a good question. Seems like a question that you hesitate. It's good. It's good. Yeah. And it's good that you. I would say the most important part is that when working, for example, with ChatGPT, it's that you don't, as Mathias said previously, is that the context around it is extremely important. And just starting a chat with ChatGPT, for example, you just get that far, but you don't get to the next step. And it's working, for example, with speya compared to ChatGPT, it doesn't really have the correct tools in order to find those suppliers that you're actually looking for. Like ChatGPT may show you something, but is that the one that you're actually want in the end.
Yeah, I think yeah, there's many parts. I think context is a very important argument because what we built is the scaffolding, the spreadsheet. In the chat, there is just text. I mean, you can extract that into Excels and previously as well, but the context of what you're working with is always in the spreadsheet. I can work with it manually and so on. But then there's also the data and scalability point. Yes, you can have data in ChatGPT too as well. It's not. I'm not sure, but I don't believe they have procurement data. I don't believe they have the scale of data as we do. So, I mean, and ChatGPT hallucinates, so it's prone to do that. So I think data is a very, very big difference in ChatGPT. And I know that if you're working with compliance or things like this, you need to have correct data.
Yeah, I somebody who uses ChatGPT and Gemini, what I really like about Speya is sometimes you're asking ChatGPT or Gemini to do something.
Yeah.
And what happens next? Follow-up question. Next, follow-up question. Follow-up question. So it's almost like I have to continuously guide these tools to make sure that it's not leading me astray.
I mean, they're great tools, don't get me wrong. I use, my LLM providers daily for the work that I do.
Yeah.
But they're not built for that structured data.
Yeah.
They work great as engines to power reasoning and everything. But the scale of which we're using language models to certify and validate our data points, to do this just in a chat in ChatGPT, it's not possible.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question.
All right, answered. So now we have a next supplier. Mathias, I'll let you lead this one then. Can you find indirect suppliers like cleaning companies in X town or other services?
Yes. So this is what's kind of what's been exciting me as well about it is that we started out, looking as a Find My Factory. It's the name for procurement and finding manufacturers. But we've seen that we have almost everything in our data. So we have people looking for service companies, looking for distributors, manufacturers, but also indirect. Like I've seen cleaning companies as a query come up before. So yeah, just try it out. I think test, and you'll see that you will get. And then the enrichment and the vetting stage of actually certifying the data points, it's similar from a manufacturing company to a cleaning company.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned earlier also of the creativity, that's actually the true limit of this, that you can find so many different types of the things or suppliers or almost everything. You can just, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I just yeah.
All right, 2 more questions. Does this get shared with my teammates? I'll answer. Yeah, so I guess we can go into this. I would say in terms of any of your searches, we are extremely private. We do, of course, adhere to GDPR, SOC 2, ISO. So if you don't want this information shared, absolutely, it won't be.
Yeah, the list, I think if we want to talk about within the workspace, that your lists are shared with everyone in the team.
Yeah.
But the chats and your conversation with Speya is not shared. So the things you ask Speya and the conversation you have with Speya is not shared with your team members, but the result of the spreadsheet is shared with everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, good.
And we decided to have that view because I think it makes sense. You're working in your chat and you're maybe you want to keep up, what you're writing and asking everything. Speaking on each other's conversations might not be super fun, I don't think.
Yeah, but if you are, of course, looking for a team, Find My Factory for your team, Speya, soon to be Speya, for your team, reach out to us, and of course, we can kind of go into this a bit more.
Yeah.
All right, answering 2 more questions. What's coming next for Speya?
Yeah, we teased already a bit with the emails.
I guess that's for another moment.
Mårten has been talking about another idea that something about artifacts. Yeah, it's a bit of. But maybe you want to tease with that?
Well, looking at the what you want, like what's the next step, as I previously mentioned with the emails, what's the next step of it? Yeah, often that's you want to have a really nice way of exporting this to the next step in that case, and then you possibly have a lot of questions that you want to answer, for example, or you want to fill out a specific document based on what you actually found. Well, we can solve that as well with Speya in order to utilize its full potential. And that, why not let just Speya fill in the compliance documents?
So, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Almost to the last question. So what are the best prompts to use with Speya? Any tips?
Yeah, I think the case is really good. Coming back to context again, the more you describe about the case you're trying to solve, the more information it gives Speya to help you. So if you explain, as I said, job title, position, location, why are you doing this? What's important for? What is your end goal with this whole thing? All of this information makes Speya make more educated decision. I would say, instead of having to guess the final parts. If you give it to it, it can make the decisions.
Also, that it helps it even more stay one step ahead, so it can help you even further. Because the more you explain about your problem, the easier it will be able to help you with that essential search.
I want to thank you so much for joining us for this session. And again, to Mathias and Mårten. If you have any questions or want to see Speya live for you and your team, head to findmyfactory.eu and you can actually go ahead and book a call with us directly. That will be with myself, not Mathias and Mårten. And if necessary, I can bring them in.
I'm open to it, but always.
That's good. But stay tuned as well, you guys. We will have another webinar coming up, and I believe this next webinar will likely be probably Mårten again going into me into that new email release.
Seeing my new other record as well.
Yeah, exactly. He'd like to see that. But thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Yep. Bye, everyone. You are.